Good day, students. Welcome back to GES107 class. My name is Dr. Uidlc, and I'll be taking you on nutrition and health, which is the second topic in our textbook. Nutrition and health. On this, we'll be talking about what nutrition is, the benefits of good nutrition, and the consequences of bad nutrition. We'll talk about the classes of nutrition and the things we need to do to ensure we have good nutrition for our health. So what is nutrition? It is the science that studies the process in which living organisms like us take in food and make use of the food for the production of energy, the functioning of organs and tissues, and the maintenance of life, growth, reproduction, and the elimination of products from the body. And this includes three things. It includes eating the correct quality and quantity of food to satisfy our body requirements. Quality in terms of the right amount of nutrient, quantity in terms of being adequate for our age, for our body size, and our body type. Also, knowing how food digests to release nutrients for absorption into the bloodstream, and studying the use of individual nutrients by the cells of the body. Food is the most important concept in nutrition. So what is food? It is what we eat that provides the chemical component which actually nourish our body and keeps us healthy. When we say food, there can be good food, there can be bad food. So good food. A good food should be wholesome. It means that that food should have the right amount or the required amount of nutrients. It should be nourishing and it should be free from toxic substances or parasites or bacterial contamination. No two foods are identical in their nutrient composition. Every food is different in its nutrient composition and in its ability to nourish the body. And so for people to be well nourished, they must have access to adequate quantity, like I said, and quality of food that they require, that their body requires. Terms in nutrition. The first thing is diet. What is diet? I hear people say, oh, he's on a diet because the person is trying to reduce weight. No, everybody is always on diet. As long as you put food in your mouth, you are on a diet. So diet is what we habitually eat. So if it is carbohydrate that you like to eat every time, you're on a carbohydrate diet. So there can be special diets for different people. So for example, we can have diets to maintain normal weight. We can have a diet to reduce nutrient intake. For example, for people who are diabetic, they can have a diet to reduce their low sodium in their food. Also, we need to note the term nutrient. What is nutrient? It is the chemical component of food that the body can use for the production of energy, growth, and maintenance of good health. So we need to note two groups of nutrients. There are two major nutrient groups. We have the macronutrients and the micronutrients. The macro are the nutrients that our body require in large amounts, while the micronutrients are the nutrients required by our body in small amounts. This picture is showing an image of a woman who has two sides, and there is this popular statement that says, man is what he eats. So whatever a man eats turned into him, which means that whatever you put into your mouth, digested and absorbed and utilized in your body. We ensure that your growth and the maintenance of your body is adequate, or the proper functioning of the organs and the tissues of your body. Whatever you put in your mouth will determine whether you're going to be healthy or unhealthy. No single food item can supply all the necessary nutrients that you need. It has to be combined and well balanced. The amount of nutrients needed for each person depends on the person's age, sex, body size, body composition, physical activity and health condition. So for example, somebody who is diabetic, the amount of nutrient that person needs is going to be different from the one a normal person needs. And also in terms of age, the amount of nutrient that children need is different from the amount of nutrient that adults need. And also in terms of obtaining maximum benefit from food, I already said it, that we should consider that our food is wholesome, has the right amount of nutrients. It is nourishing, it is free from toxic substances, it's free from parasites, and it is free from bacterial contamination. What are the effects of good nutrition? Good nutrition will ensure that we have the normal body weight for our height body frame. So there are different weights for each person's height body frame. It will ensure that we have erect posture. We are not bent. We have strong muscles, moderate padding in the right place, moderate padding of fat in the right places, with no overweight or obesity. And then good nutrition also ensures that we have firm, clear skin with good color. I see people using cream and they are saying they are doing skincare. Without good nutrition, your skincare will not be productive. You will not get positive outcome from your skincare routine. Good nutrition will ensure that we have abundance of energy and endurance. If you don't eat well, you won't have the right amount of energy to work or to do your daily activities. It also helps us to have resistance to diseases and the maintenance of good health. If you eat well, your body will be able to resist infection. You'll be able to resist some diseases. It ensures that we have the ability to concentrate with efficient productivity. If you eat well, if you eat the right amount of nutrient, you will be more productive. As we have the benefit of nutrition, good nutrition, we also have the effect of poor nutrition. When you don't eat well, when your nutrition is poor, what will happen? You will be overweight or underweight. You will be stunt. And that is the failure to grow adequately. There can be underweight and sudden loss of weight. That's wasting. When somebody is wasting away, it is the effect of poor nutrition. Also, you should note that the effect of poor nutrition is just the opposite of the benefit of good nutrition. So as you're having good posture for good nutrition, you have poor posture. You have protruding abdomen, big tummy, thin flabby muscle, lack of padding in the right place. The fat are not staying in the right place. It is poor nutrition. And excessive fat in the body. And then, I talked about skincare. When you don't eat good food and you are doing skincare, you will still have dry, scaly, pale skin. So it is important that we eat well. And then poor arrangement and texture of our teeth. Our teeth will not be strong. Poor appetite. Oh, I don't like eating. It is because your nutrition is not right. Diarrhea, constipation, they are effects of poor nutrition. Oh, I have diarrhea. It's because you've eaten too much. You've eaten what you are not supposed to eat. Also, like I said, infection, you will be prone to infection if you are not eating well. And also short attention span. You will not be as productive as you would love to be. What is our responsibilities in nutrition? What are the things that we need to do? First, we need to have the right attitude towards food and nutrition. You should not say that, oh, is it not just food? And you start putting anything you like in your mouth. No, you should be intentional about the food you put into your mouth. You should have the right attitude. And then you should select and combine your food well to make a good diet. We are still going to talk about the classes of food as we go on. And then you need to maintain good feeding habits. You should not eat at every minute. Sometimes we have something we call fake hunger. It's not every time that you get hunger pangs that you think you are hungry. No, there are false hunger pangs. So those periods you should just drink water. It's just telling you to drink water. But some people don't actually get that. Once there is hunger pan, rather for them to just take water, they want to put something in their mouth. So we need to learn that, maintain good feeding habits. Also, if you have issues with feeding, with your nutrition, you should consult a nutritionist or a dietitian, or especially if you have chronic diseases or certain diseases in your body that if you have been diagnosed of any problem, you need to speak with a nutritionist. I already said we have two groups of nutrients, macro and micro. I already said that macro are the ones required in large amounts, and they are usually the major sources of energy. So for the macro, we have three. We have protein, lipids, and carbohydrates. And for the micro nutrients, consist of vitamins and minerals. Like I said, they are required in minute quantities, in small amounts in our food. But as small as they are necessary for life and growth. They are the chemical compounds of organic nature needed in our bodies. The first class of food that we'll be talking about is carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is the principal source of energy. Plants are the main source of all carbohydrates. So most of the carbohydrates are plant-based. All carbohydrates, because they contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Please note that. All carbohydrates contain what? Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. What is the function of carbohydrates? The main thing is that they provide energy for living organisms. They give us energy. And then they also provide heat to maintain our body temperature. So they help to regulate our body temperature. They give flavor and variety to our diet. You are not just eating veggies. You have some other thing that you are putting beside your food that is making it colorful and is making it look attractive. They are required for complete oxidation of fat. They absorb and hold water, which aids the formation of softer and more bulkier stool, so that our feces or the elimination of our colon is easy. You are not straining yourself to release stool. Once you have eaten good carbohydrates, you will be able to pass that easily. And then it is good for the regulation of blood glucose. The examples of carbohydrates, first, where do we get them from? The sources of carbohydrates are starchy roots like tubers, fruits such as yam, cassava, sweet potatoes, plantain, banana, oranges, and also honey. And also we have cereals like maize, guinea corn, rice, wheat, and oats. These are examples. For each of the class of nutrients that we'll be talking about the clinical problems associated with their excess or their deficit. Once they are taken in excess or they are not taken sufficiently, there will be clinical problems associated with them. So for carbohydrates, if you are taking carbohydrates in excess, you should know that you are writing a letter to obesity. Overweight and obesity is the result of taking too much carbohydrate. Taking too much carbohydrate can lead to tooth decay when we have plaque in our teeth. Excess intake of refined sugar may lead to diabetes. It may lead, we'll still talk about diabetes later, so that you know that it's not only sugar that causes diabetes. Diabetes, what is it? It is a condition. What type of condition is it? It is a condition in which there is either insufficient production of insulin, or the insulin that is produced in the body is ineffective. So insulin is supposed to regulate the blood sugar, but once it is insufficient, it is not going to be regulated. Or even when it is produced, if the insulin is ineffective, there will be problems. So that person will develop diabetes. It happens in anybody's body, diabetes will happen. A person with diabetes may be treated with one, diet. That's the first thing. The diet of the person will be controlled. That's when you say somebody is on a special diet. The person has to be regulated in terms of the diet the person takes. And also there is what we call hypoglycemic drugs or regular injections for diabetes. The second class of nutrients is fat. We call it fat and oil. That's lipid. Lipid is fat and oil. Fats consist of compounds that are insoluble in water. They are classified into three broad groups. We have simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids. What are the clinical problems associated with fat and oil or lipids? Overweight and obesity too is there. Increase in cholesterol. The person can be prone to coronary heart and blood vessel diseases. Also, there will be cancer in the colon and in the breast. The third one is protein. Protein, like carbohydrates and fats, contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they contain about 16% nitrogen. Sulfur, phosphorus, iron, and iodine sometimes are found in small amounts also in protein, and they are built from 20 molecules, which is called the amino acid. Protein deficiency. When there is protein deficiency, what do we get? There is negative nitrogen balance, and when negative balance of nitrogen exists, what happens? The individual is less able to build immunity to resist any type of infection. So that is the consequence of protein deficiency. There's what we call protein energy malnutrition, PEN, and this causes kwashiorkor or marasmus. You should note this. Kwashiorkor occurs in infants that is given only high carbohydrates but inadequate supply of protein. So that's the difference. It's actually giving only high carbohydrates, but the protein is insufficient. That's kwashiorkor, the cause of kwashiorkor. But for marasmus, the infants are weaned very early. So rather than waiting for a child to be weaned maybe at age 2, you've weaned the child at maybe 6 months, and you're now feeding the child low calories as well as protein. That child will definitely come down with marasmus. Now we'll talk about minerals and vitamins. Minerals represent about 4% of the body weight. I already said that these are micronutrients. For micronutrients, we have minerals and vitamins. So minerals represent about 4% of the body weight. They are needed by our body to do what? To build tissues, to regulate blood fluid, and to assist in various body functions. So they are usually found in water and in natural and processed foods. And this goes along with protein, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins. They go with it. So they are divided into two groups. We have the macro minerals and the micro minerals. The micro minerals are what we call trace minerals. You can find this in your exam questions. Micro minerals, trace minerals. For macro minerals, we have calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, and phosphorus. For the micro, we have iron, iodine, zinc, copper, and manganese. For vitamins, they are a group of chemical substances which are needed in small amounts, like I said, and they are vital for the body. They don't provide energy, but they enable the body to use the energy from fats, carbohydrates, and protein. When there is lack in one or more vitamins, it will result in specific deficiency diseases. Classification of vitamins. They are classified according to their solubility in water or fat and oil. So we have fat-soluble minerals, which are vitamins A, D, E, and K. We have water-soluble ones, which are the B complex and the vitamin C. The last class of food is water. What is the function of water? Water is very essential. It is the one that serves as the body's transportation system. Water is the lubricant. It helps the transportation to be easy. It is helpful in moving food from the digestive tract. And then water participates in body's biochemical reactions. Water regulates body temperature, and evaporation of water from body surfaces also helps to cool the body. The water requirement varies from person to person, and it depends on physical activity, the age of the person, state of health, and body size. Like I said, same with nutrition. So who are the people who need more water in their diet than others? Children. Children need more water in their diet. Elderly people. People who have diarrhea, they need to drink more water. So once you realize that you're having diarrhea, you should start drinking water because you are losing water. People who are physically active, people who are exposed to warm or hot conditions, people on long distance flights. So I think generally everybody should drink water. So everybody needs water. We should ensure that we take water as often as required. To round up, nutrition is you. Whatever you put into your body will determine who you are. So please take care of your nutrition. Ensure you eat well so that you can live a healthy life. Thank you for your attention.